Welcome to Cody in the Cinema. Today I'm discussing the April announcements from the Criterion Collection. And it seems like month after month I continue to be more and more impressed with what they're putting out. And this particular month, one of them really shocked me. I was sitting there and I did a double take, like, did they really, release that? And they have a few 4Ks that are coming out. So let's see, I think, Some Like It Hot gets a 4K, Billy Wilder classic, which is cool. Yugetsu, that has a 4K. I have an old DVD of that, and I need to rewatch that anyway. I don't know if I'll upgrade or not, but that's a real famous one, and I think that's one of their big wins as of recent. Chungking Express is a cool 4K for them to get. One Car Y film, and I think all three of those are going to do really well for them. And I've seen all three of those movies, so that's really cool. I think those are all good upgrades. As far as new stuff, the new stuff, this is like, there are three of these I'd never heard of, and I'm really excited for them. I'll probably watch all of these. The first one's one that, you know what, I'm leaning toward buying this one. Basquiat this is about the famous painter played by Jeffrey Wright from, the art world of the 1980s, they said. And there are some mixed reviews on it. Some people feel like it was a little too safe of a film, and they didn't really love Jeffrey Wright at that role for that artist. But if you go through and look at his art and so forth, it's very interesting. I wasn't as familiar with this topic, so I think this is a great inclusion for them. I like whenever they take on subjects that are, artistic. So I'm really glad that they put that in the collection. And another film, I had definitely never heard of this, and I'm definitely getting this. So Prince of Broadway, okay, which they call a raw, disarming, moving slice of neorealism, Sean Baker directing, is about these two friends who are selling like knockoff goods in Manhattan. That inherently sounds interesting to me. And the trailer looked really powerful for it. Although some people said like the movie's much better than the trailer. In their words, it captures the chaos of urban life through expressive handheld camera work with good performances. I feel like this is where Criterion needs more content more movies. So I'm glad that they have included this in the collection. Those are two films right there that I feel like are a good little bit of expansion on what they've been doing. And the other three really I'm most excited about. So let's see. I've been covering a lot of French films lately, looking a lot at French cinema. Jean de Fleury, Men of the Springs. They're these two films, and I don't know a whole lot about them. It says that they span 3 generations in the lives of 2 families, and they recreate a provincial world of an early 20th century village. And someone comes in from the outside and sets off a chain of events. Now, I looked at both of these up immediately. I was like, I wonder what their Letterboxd score is, because I haven't heard of these. And they both had 4s on Letterboxd, which is kind of hard to do, even for something like this. And so when I was looking at the packaging and so forth, I was super excited to see this. Something that I hadn't heard of that sounds right up my alley. But I think what probably is going to be most celebrated in this, other than those 4K upgrades, of course, is we did get the movie that's been wildly successful, Nora, starring Mikey Madison as she's a sex worker, erotic dancer, and it's sort of supposed to be like a Cinderella story. And I held off on seeing Nora because I had this feeling that it would get a really good boutique release based on what I had heard about it. And I also just didn't know the pedigree of the film for a long time. And if you haven't done so, Mikey Madison, I hope that I'm saying her name right, but she has put out some incredibly good interviews. Just actors on actors. I think she did maybe a Letterboxd, but she had a great Criterion Closet interview. She is very versed in film, and she's one of those actresses who you can tell is well studied. I think she has that knowledge set, that background in film to do well over a period of time, just listening to her even talk about that. So I'm excited to see Anora, and those of you that have seen it, you can tell me your thoughts. I know it is a highly rated film, of course, also directed by Sean Baker. That's a director they seem very interested in at the collection, and I can tell, for good reason. I mean, he does have that pedigree of films. So I'm very excited about these. Of course, the month before, which I also covered on the channel and you should check out, I believe is the month before that, at the end of this month, the thing I'm most excited about this year is Winchester 73. So I talked about that in a previous video, but outside of that, I think this is one of my most anticipated. So for me, if I had if I just had a lot of money, I would definitely buy all three of those upgrades at 4K, but everything on here looks really solid to me. So I think this is one of the better months they've had. Maybe if not their very best, except like I said, the last few series of announcements have been so good that it's hard to maybe rival those. What do you all think? Are you excited? If you liked the video, if you found it helpful, if you want to do me a favor and click the like button, that'll help grow the channel, and consider subscribing if you haven't. And then if you want to check out, like I said, my previous videos on reactions to those last few months, you can do that as well. And we will see you next time on Cody in the Cinema.